Hello, hello, welcome everybody. Welcome, welcome.
Hi.
Yes, good to see you. Ivan, Derek, Angela, Bina, and Freddie, Karen. All right. Getting situated. Well, yep, great to see everybody. We are in April 10th, 2024. Got doggies present. Good. Awesome. So great to see everybody. Welcome to the April 2024 Terasem Satsang. And, just excited to be here. So grateful for all of your presence. Oh, we get a phone call. And just the opportunity of life and intelligence. So yeah, let's maybe just start off, go around. I'm going to use the gallery as I see it in here, so let's start with Angela and do a check-in.
Well, good morning. It's morning here in California where I am at the moment. I'm good. I'm just still running around and busy and stretched thin. I'm really excited for what Jen and I are working on. We're calling it the Prison Transparency Project, which, hey, Jen. Jen and I obviously are both system impacted people, and I shared with some of you guys when we were together about some of the facts I've learned over the years about America's carceral system. And so we've drafted a survey to gather some quantitative and qualitative data. We've got a draft cover letter, we've got a draft release form, and we're getting ready to launch the Prison Transparency Project to really hear from America's prisoners, like from their own voice, what their experience of the courts and prisons has been. So I'm really excited for that. Other than that, God, do I have anything else? I literally just woke up like 20 minutes ago. I'm always somewhere different, but yeah, at the moment I'm in NorCal, like where I grew up. I'm actually at the apartment of a friend of mine I've known since second grade. We're still friends. We're having a sleepover. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Sorry, I feel like I'm blabbering because I just woke up, but I'm doing pretty good. Good to see you all.
You too.
Excellent. All right. Well, let's go to Derek next.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, I'm doing good. These days I've been working on the Wharf Instagram. So I'm pretty excited about that. I've been posting about the 9 forms of racism. So maybe we can show that sometime during the meeting. Yeah, so that's what's new with me. And besides that, just enjoying the snow going away here in Russia. So that's pretty nice.
Yeah. Meeting with Derek, month or two ago, it was like dark, at that time. And then, a few weeks ago, I could see like the sun on his face. I was like, whoa, what's yeah, something's changed over there. Awesome. Yeah. All right. Well, let's hop over to Vermont and check in with Freddie and Bina. Oh, you're muted.
There we go. We're doing really good here in Vermont. Very excited to have experienced my second solar eclipse, and it just did not disappoint. It was just like the first one. It was really, really amazing. And I'm so glad that whoever got a chance to really see it live, I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And I just think it's it's amazing here in Vermont too. The snow is melting quickly, and it's just the little crocuses are coming up and the birds are eating the worms, and it's just really, really beautiful. So I'm just happy to be alive another day.
And I just want to give a shout out to Angela. I'm reading your polymath dissertation and it's phenomenal. It takes me a little bit to get through it, but it's incredible. And I want to thank you very much for sending that to me.
Oh, thank you so much. How sweet of you. Thank you.
Great, great. Ivan.
Yeah, hi everyone. Yeah, so basically I'm also thankful to be alive, to be able to see this blue sky and these beautiful clouds. In the evening we'll be stargazing, hopefully, and see like naked cosmos, you know, like space. Yeah, and just fantastic journey. So
Lovely. Yeah.
to the stars. Ad Astra.
Ad Astra.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Karen, good to see your smile.
Thank you. I've been busy with cryonics, getting ready for cryonics conferences. I should tell you, Gabriel, since you're invited to this coming one, that we've had multiple changes due to the fact we couldn't work with the hotel in California. So now we've moved to Miami, which will be closer to you, and it will be in July, preceding the Global Cryonics Conference. You've been planning to go to that anyway, right? So we're going to be there the 2 days prior to that and then proceed into that and be a part of it. So anyone who receives a scholarship to the teens and 20s gets the full scholarship for everything. So I look forward to seeing you there. And then, of course, we have the Asset Preservation Cryonics Conference at the Time Ship in, let's see, that one's in November. So that's been occupying my time.
Wow.
Karen, when is the one in Miami?
In July, I can give you the exact, it's towards the end of July. If you want, I can look at my calendar and get you the exact dates. It'll just take me 2 seconds to walk over here. Okay, teens and 20s starts on the 18th and 19th, which is the Thursday and Friday, and 20 and 21 is the Global Cryonics Conference. All in Miami. So I'll see you guys. That'll be fun. Is anyone else planning on raise your hand if anyone else is going to the Global Cryonics Conference? Well, I'll see you two anyway.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it'll be quite a journey for, you know, at least half of us, you know, to get here. And some of them already recently just made that transcontinental treks. But yeah, no, very excited, very excited. Can't wait to see you there. And you know, cryonics has had an incredible year itself, and you know, it has an incredible future coming up. You know, the next few years I think are going to be, you know, a really exciting time in growth for cryonics. They're going to find themselves stressing their infrastructure in a way they've never had before. Absolutely.
Yeah, we have definitely had one very, very strange, unusual, unexplainable conflict with Elcor. Elcor has refused to let their teens and 20s know about the complete, total, full scholarship to attend it. And there's no explanation for it. So none of the, so if anyone has a list of Elcor teens and 20s, please let them know that they can get a full scholarship. Yeah, Elcor has become hostile and in my mind corrupt, but I don't know why. It's very, very strange. And they've become secretive and more of a business now. They've become more of a profit-making business rather than, I don't understand it. There is no, and anyone I talk to doesn't understand it either. It's just weird.
Yeah.
So
yeah. changes in leadership, and it'll happen again in another way. But nonetheless, you know, thanks for your work and Mike's work, and you know, there are good people who continue to show up and make sure that patients receive the care, and you know, continually get
Mike is the
preserved and
best.
cared for. Yeah.
Everyone is fortunate that we have Mike Perry. He's you can't exceed him. He's wonderful.
Yeah, I'm sure he was very busy, and he's just sleeping it off, and that's why he's not here. But yes, let's check in with Julio. How are you?
Hello, everyone. Good to see you all. For a long time, because I missed the last gathering due to this time difference between Europe and the United States. So I arrived when it was just finished. Good to see you. What can I tell you? Yes, until a couple of weeks ago, I have been entirely focused on completing the draft of my new book. Let me just show it to you. It has really taken all my time since at least 1 year, or it has taken most of my time at least. Just let you see here the cover page and the table of content. It is a book about life, the universe, and everything, mostly about metaphysics, science, religion as well. I don't really call it any of that. I call it science fiction. I call it the backstory of the science fiction novel about the universe that I have in mind. So don't take it as a science book or a philosophy book, and especially don't take it as a religious doctrine. Now, I have sent the draft of this book to many people in this group, and I'd like to thank you, those who have sent me comments already. And of course, if anyone else in this group to whom I have not sent the draft wants to take a look, just let me know and I'll send it to you. I don't really plan to publish it too soon. It's still cooking in my mind, and perhaps a couple of things still have to click. I think I want to publish it after the summer, in something like September. And now I'm doing a nice, slow revision of the book together with my early readers, because I want to make it as good as I can make it. So look forward to seeing the book before the end of the year. And I don't have much else to share, because until very short ago, I've been doing only that. Now, two things that I'm just hearing here. First, I hear that Angela has completed some great polymath writing, and I want to compliment you for that. I look very much forward to reading it when you put it out in public. And then I heard of this cryonics thing on July 20, which would conflict with the Terasem colloquium of this year. So since we couldn't even have Max, who was the first speaker I had invited, because there was a conflict with this cryonics event, I'm now thinking on whether it makes more sense perhaps to postpone the colloquium by 1 week to something like July 27 or something like that, to make sure that there are no conflicts. That would be the thing that came to my mind. Gabriel, what do you think about that?
I don't think that I don't see any real conflicts with that. This year's theme was not directly relevant to the moon. So, the significance of July 20th is not as significant this year. So,
hold on, we can still say that the colloquium takes place on July 20, just it doesn't take place on July 20, but 1 week later for contingent reasons.
Yeah.
Do you think Martin will agree to that?
I don't see why not, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
I also don't see why not, but you know, for correctness, I will first write later today to you and Martin, suggesting the idea, and then if we agree on July 27, but that is also flexible, I guess. In terms now, I'll have to write again to all the speakers to say that we're going to postpone the colloquium by a week, and of course, some of them will have conflict on one day or on another day. But I think we can find between July 20 and the end of the month some date that is suitable for all speakers, including Max, because now I plan to invite Max again, because really a colloquium about futuristic philosophies like extropy and variance doesn't make too much sense without Max, does it?
No.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I will write to Martin and to you later and suggest the idea.
Excellent. Lovely. Very excited for Irrational Mechanics. Giulio, you continue to, you know, create, you know, beautiful writings.
I did send it to you, didn't I?
Yes, you did. Yeah, I just this morning I finished 3-body problem. So looking forward to it now.
Yeah, the 3-body problem is great. One thing that maybe I would like to suggest to you is that now that you have read the book, I think you don't want to watch the Netflix show because it really doesn't do justice to the book. But you know, you may want to watch the Chinese one, which is much better, in my opinion, and much closer to the book. Essentially, it is the first of the 3 books. And I believe that they're planning season 2 about the 2nd book and season 3 about the 3rd book.
Fascinating. Yeah, I watched the first episode, but I have heard that the Chinese version you certainly want to watch before the Netflix version. But
Still on YouTube, I believe.
Yeah. I'll follow up with that. Thank you.
Okay, yes.
Ruben, how are you?
Hello, good morning to everyone. Quite well. Here we have an unusual condition because it is raining. That's not common in this geography, and it's very nice. Working a lot, studying a lot these days. Reading the last papers of Dr. Bainbridge that are very, very interesting, and going on the road.
Yes, fascinating. I see you've made good use of the flag from the colloquium in the ashram there. Yeah. Yeah, lovely. All right. Well, I was going to go to Anne next. I saw she just clicked her camera off. But let's maybe then go and pick a universal truth.
Yeah, so things are good here on the Space Coast. Gabriel and I just did our inaugural 3-2-1 day event on March 21st, and it was a very successful event. So we're happy with the outcome and the attendees, and everything went off without a hitch. So that was really cool. And yeah, the weather is nice. It's a little breezy, a little overcasty today, but otherwise good here on the Space Coast. So the card today is sensitivity.
Yep.
You read it.
Awesome. Hey, Anne, welcome. I want to acknowledge Anne and here. You're welcome to chime in and share anything before we get going. But Anne produced Artificial Immortality and beautiful piece. So thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, I've been wanting to join for a while, and I'm only here for half an hour this time, but I'll
block aside the full time. It's lovely to see you all and to hear about the conference coming up and the work that you're doing. I'm a principal at a documentary company, and a couple of the projects we're working on now include one about metaverse and crime in the metaverse, and another called #WhileBlack, and it's about citizen journalists like Darnella Fraser, who filmed the George Floyd video. We're following her and a few other key citizen journalists looking at the aftermath of their videos, how it affected their lives, how it affected America and the world, and what changes it brought about or did not, and how the social media platforms exploited the videos.
So Artificial Immortality is already out?
It is out, yes, yeah.
Any chance to watch it on YouTube?
Not on YouTube. I think it's on Apple. Yeah, and
I'll look for it.
Yeah, okay.
Excellent. Yeah. Thanks for sharing, Anne. Thanks for your storytelling. And so part of what we've been doing recently is reading a universal truth card at the end of our sharing. And this month, it's sensitivity. Sensitivity is our heartfelt connection, burst through our feelings. In today's society, many are afraid to be sensitive. We have become desensitized to our surroundings. As a result, we are furthering ourselves from the universal realms. Advanced souls, however, view their sensitivity as one with their spirituality. It is our sincerity spiraling from the source. It speaks of being concerned, careful, and compassionate. This, in turn, awakens the spiritual intervention and intermingling of a sense of responsibility, a sensibility, and a common sense. These are all the makings for saving our wounded world. Remember, sensitivity confirms an acuteness of consciousness. So I think that was very beautiful. And as always, just, the right words in the right time, even though randomly, selected. Yeah. Well, that's beautiful, introduction and beginning here. And unless anyone has anything additional to add, I'm going to do a screen share and bring up the truths, and we will move into the recitation and discussion. And then, anyone who's doesn't say till the end, thank you, for being here. Always welcome to come back. And again, and I might actually be giving you a call, as some things have developed, and I think you could be interested in that. All right. I think everybody can see the text, and now I can see it as well. Okay.
One thing, Gabriel, is this already the new version that includes all the things that we have discussed a couple of months ago?
Yes, this one. Yes, this is the new text. Everything has been included here. Yes.
Is there a PDF that you can send around so we all have our copy?
Yeah, yes, there is. And I will. I've been working on the illustrated version, and that's why I haven't sent it out yet. But absolutely. So I'll begin with 2.6s as normal, and read through, and then volunteers are welcome to join in reading following sections. 2.6. Theologically, the multiverse includes joyful immortality via data emulation of a diverse and united universe. Unending life, the belief that once life arises, it will last forever, is Terasem immortality theology. Never-ending creation, recycling, and growth is the Terasem creation theology. I think, therefore I am, is at the core of Terasem reality theology. Teleological belief in diversity, unity, and joyful immortality forms Terasem meaning of life theology. Euthenics, improving the well-being of extant life, is Terasem behavioral theology. Deontologically weighted decision-making is the basis of Terasem moral theology.
I'm happy to read.
Yeah, Anara. Oh, yes.
So 2.7, trans-religion is us because we ritualize our belief in the supernatural, metaphysical, collective subconsciousness, future God. Beginnings differ amongst religions, but we bridge them all by focusing on everlasting life. Everlasting life, realized via digital emulation and a joyous cyber heaven, bridges all Western and Eastern religions. Life is what can be conceived, believed, and achieved. Insistence on the rituals of Terasem exponentiates the rate of advancement toward joyful immortality. Every religion shares our belief in becoming part and parcel of God, which we call Terasem. Faith that we have a purpose is in emulating and controlling this multiverse also makes Terasem a trans-religion.
Thank you, Anara. Yeah. I didn't realize you were online, you didn't have your camera on, but thank you for being here.
I'm packing. We're moving back to Germany this coming week, so it does lots of moving boxes. Gonna keep the camera off.
Great. Yeah. All right. So moving on, another volunteer for 2.8. Ivan.
Yeah. 2.8. Resurrection is promised to all good lives, which shall be copied as forever joyful data emulations. Copied lives are protected lives. Original lives can be replicated with the same fidelity as analog sounds can be digitally duplicated. Paradise for posterity is assured by modifying data emulations to delete tortuous aspects of lives. Introspection plus computation, growing double exponentially and supported with self-replication, yields ethical emulation and faithful resurrection. Emulated lives are existential lives. Replication of life makes it durable, not diminished.
I saw Ruben, you were about to get in there.
Okay. Eschatology doesn't apply because souls emerge from life's experiences and they transcend death via resurrection. Emerge best describes the growth of the soul because even in substrate it has immanent potential. Manifesting potential with unique actually requires experiences, and these experiences exist forever thereafter. Emulation enables experiences to re-emerge, and with them comes their soul. Resurrection is to souls what remembering is to memories. Geoethics prohibits the resurrection of nightmares. Exponentially expanding consciousness will not require resurrection, as death is a historical but not future reality.
Thank you. All right. And one more for our last section. First come, first serve. Karen.
Okay. End of time, 2.10. End of time doesn't exist for Terasem because the multiverse weaves new time, and time is relative. What has no beginning also has no end. Existing always, the multiverse is the host of all reality, for ultimate beginnings are logical contradictions. Accumulated intelligence of double exponential growth, coupled with universal nanotechnology, enables Terasem to redefine physics. Virtual time sharing enables Terasem to escape from an end of objective time. Escapes from this universe are as numerous as the galaxy and as limited as our intelligence. Subjective time-space energy is made infinite by repeatedly existing on only half of a finite remainder.
Yeah, excellent. Thanks for everybody for reading contributions, and want to open the floor for any thoughts in relation to this month's reading.
I'm thinking about this sentence that really resonates very much with my thinking about how Terasem will redefine physics. I have some ideas about that. In fact, I talk about that in the book draft, but I'd like to hear, how do you guys interpret that? How will anything that has something to do with today's humans that will exist anywhere in the future will be able to redefine physics? If anyone has thoughts about that.
I think about this facet that we're covering of, these bridges between religions, because you look at the whole span of human existence and belief, and really we can talk about religions individually, like, each religion has its own thing, but really it's, we're one big species, and our religious experience is one giant spectrum that's all really interwoven. So all the differences that we think we have that separate us, there's just so many threads that bind us together. So I like the emphasis on that, and I really like the emphasis on the fact that it's not just about living forever, because that could be hell under the right conditions. It's about unity, diversity, joyfulness. That under those conditions, I would love to live forever. But yeah, I think that's a really important part of that entire package.
Unfortunately, your audio comes a little bit broken here, and perhaps I didn't get all you said, but your main focus was on insisting that we are all one, which of course is an ancient teaching of Eastern spirituality and also a finding of modern science. Now, how will the fact that essentially everything in the universe is deeply interconnected, how will this enable us to remake the universe, even with different physical laws, perhaps in the future?
Well, I think about it like a hand versus fingers, right? So if we think about our differences, we could say like, well, I'm a pinky or a thumb. I can do things with a pinky, you could do things with a thumb that are different, and we're not working together. But once we realize we're all pieces of this hand, then we can actually grasp and we can use tools, and we're able to coordinate our efforts. I think if we start focusing, if we help humanity focus on the fact that while we have our differences, we actually have unity within those differences, then we have more collaboration. And we're able to bridge. Like I really understand this concept of bridging. It's so vital that we get this, because there's a very fake kind of diversity where people just say, oh, we're all the same, oh, we're all one. And it's very surface level fluff, and there's no real meat, and you really don't get down to how do we navigate the differences and the unity, because there's both, and how do we bridge those? And that's going to be the most important part. Like, without a great bridge, you're not getting over the river. So I think it's important that we have like deeper level discussions about acknowledging the real differences, not trying to cover them up or hide them or ignore them, but also utilizing those differences to bridge together and work together and be bigger in our whole.
Can I share something with you guys on that topic?
Sure.
So there's this book called The Phenomenon of Man. I think we even talked about it in Florida, maybe.
Oh, sure.
And The Phenomenon
The
of
one
Man.
by Valentin Turchin.
No, it's by Pierre Desjardins or something like that.
Teilhard de Chardin, yes.
Yes, his name is a French guy. And the book's old. It's been around probably more than 100 years or something like that. And he basically argued that the evolutionary process contains two, like if you're going to study the process of evolution, regardless of the life form, that it would follow two basic rules. And the rules are that each member of a species would become more individuated, more unique, so that the different members are not all the same. You need some, like to have a robust species, the members should be diverse, so they bring different strengths. And also, so if there's an environmental factor which is not favorable, that it doesn't take a whole species out, because if they're all the same, they can all be wiped out. So you want diversity within individual members of the species to evolve. But the other second factor that he said happens in the process of evolution is that those individuated members cooperate better. That's what makes a species evolve, is you have more robust, diverse membership or population, and they can act as kind of a hive mind together. And that's what the process of evolution is. And by the way, I'd just like to point out and give a shout out to human polymathy, which is human versatility, capability, having breadth and depth. That's exactly what polymathy is. Like, I think polymathy is the evolutionary process, because what happens as people become more polymathic, they have zigzag combinations and all these different kinds of experiences, and they become more original, more unique, more individuated. And based on my research, I know that they report also, because they're so diverse within their own personhood, that they can build more bridges and connect with other people, which is that cooperation element. So I really think that, yeah, you can do both. You can be an individuated person, and you can that can enhance your ability to connect with others. And one thing I'd like to point out too, before I stop blabbering, we talk a lot about the importance of diversity. We really but we think about it always in such limited terms. Like, diversity, that concept needs to itself become more diversified, in my view, because we can have, like, we think about diversity in groups, like it could only exist at the macro or meso level of analysis. But diversity can also exist at the individual micro level of analysis. We each can choose to become more diverse ourselves through broad learning and exposure, and that enhances us individually, and it enhances our ability to connect with more variety and more diversity of different kinds of people. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say.
I love that. That's stunning. Thank you so much for sharing that. I think you're right. This actuation of the individual does allow for more robust collaboration, for sure. And we all bring something unique to the table. There's a rabbi that told me once, we're all born the moment the universe decides it can't go any further without us. And so I love this idea that every single human being brings something essential, not superfluous, but essential to what's happening, what's unfolding. And so when we actualize the individual and we give them the keys to bridging with others, other people, other systems, then we're reaching our fuller potential as a species. So I love that in Terasem, we have this focus on preserving the individual and the individual insights, and that's so vital. But then also helping people expand and work collaboratively.
Yeah. And one other thing I'll add too is that we've grown up in this world where we were all told to like pick your one thing and be really good at that and just spend your life like focused on one thing. And we put ourselves in these boxes based on how we look and like categories we can't even control. And it really limits us, when we're defining ourselves so narrowly. Like there's something to be said for embracing all that we are. And that's a new narrative. Like being non-conforming in general is like a new narrative. And when you become a unique, individuated, polymathic kind of person, like you might not fit in, you might not find a group where you meet other people like you, but that is necessary for us to reach our individual and collective potential. In my view, we have to individuate and cooperate. So it's really a matter of like learning broadly and deeply, but also like having a good heart,
I would like to thank you very much for saying all this, Angela, because when it comes to diversity, which is the first point that you made, there are a lot of conflicts around the word diversity these days, at political, cultural, and all so many levels, because the concept of diversity is always interpreted in terms of differences between groups, which is too a narrow definition. I myself, I don't want to be a member of a group of persons. Of course, I'm a member of many groups of persons, but none of those groups defines me. And the only thing that defines me is being myself, a unique individual. And I would very much like to see diversity reinterpreted in this way. I'm sorry, Karen, I think I took your turn and you wanted to speak first. I'm shutting up and letting you speak.
Okay. I'm very, very involved in education. I've been in multiple areas of education. And one thing I find harmful is when you ask a child, what do you want to be when you grow up, which addresses this topic. And that another expression is that I find harmful is find your passion. And so I support everything you've been saying, and I never ask a child, what do you want to, because I've owned and operated a few schools and taught at every level. And I never ask a child, what do you want to be when you grow up? Or even teens and older people, find your passion. Because we do want, I like the Terasem concept of being unified in diversity, unified in diversity. And so those are the things I support, especially in education. That's it.
Hello,
Hey,
everyone.
welcome, Mike Perry.
Yeah, I'm very sorry to be late, but I had a reason this time. I had to take a liquid nitrogen delivery. It started just before the meeting started, but I took it anyway. But I agree with what's being said. Unity and diversity, you need to have both.
Yeah.
Yay, Mike Perry.
All right. Any other comments or on these sections of truths particularly?
Sorry, I feel like I'm talking too much, but I do have a kind of thought question. And I don't know the answer, but there was something in the text we read that said something like, oh, I'm gonna not get it correct, but it was something like, we'll create a heaven, like we'll do away with bad experiences and trauma in the new world. And I agree, like difficulty and trauma is not something we would want to create in any sort of digital capture of our existence. However, I will say that for me and a lot of people I know, we learn the most, we grow the most from hardship. So it's like, oh, damn, this is a hard toss up for me of like, would I want a world without difficulty? And I think it would be wonderful on one hand to just be in joyful immortality. But I also think there's something to be said for challenge. Like if you don't go through the lifting weights, you don't get stronger. You know, there's some benefit to having difficulty. So anyway, I just want to throw that out there. I don't know the answer. You know, I don't know the right answer. I just want to point out that there are some benefits to having a world with difficulty, so we learn and grow from it. But what would we want a world without that if we could? I don't know.
Yeah, I guess the exact word that was used is nightmare, right? I mean, probably it's a bit different from difficulties. Yes.
I've thought of that too. What kind of world you would want a world with challenges and a lot of options too, but it's not an easy question to address. What kind of challenges would you have? Maybe it's something we'll just have to see. We'll have to see what it's like when we get there.
I think it depends on the type of difficulties. Like a child who is not loved is so extremely affected psychologically that difficulties and life is painful. And so you have to really describe the nature of difficulties. And I like Mike's word challenges. And that I like that word challenges and teaching someone how to solve problems. One of the multiple things I like about Terasem is if you look at all the things, there's a love behind all these things that I keep reading. There's loving and caring and wanting benefits to people. But you can have challenges teaching a young child the nature of how to solve problems, how to face challenges. But I wouldn't want to have pain and a lack of love on anybody, even what you might call bad people. I want everyone to go to this heaven that's talked about, everyone, because I believe in redemption. I would like, rather than anyone to be punished, I would rather have them somehow find a way to redemption. I don't want anyone to be in pain. I like being.
Some challenges we don't want to have, but others we would want to have.
Yeah.
Right?
I think that's brilliant. And self-love is the one that's often most overlooked. You know, loving ourselves, and a person who loves themselves and experiences love, they can bring so much more to the table. And really, it's like discord is, you know, the discordant thread in society where, you know, individuals experience it and then groups experience it, and it just kind of festers and grows. But you're right, like people we hate, people we fear, people that we feel are, you know, maybe bad or criminal or whatever else. A society that punishes kind of just, it makes that hate fester. But if we bring love to the table for everyone, then it's going to grow. We're going to do better as a society.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
You know,
why I believe in compassionate restraint, because there are some people who would harm others. And so that has to be restrained, but it can be done compassionately.
yeah. Well, I
Yeah,
want to
getting
bring back
Sorry, go
to
ahead, Gabriel.
2.9 and you know what it says about souls emerge from life's experiences. You know, I was actually just studying somewhat on the Bhagavad Gita, and you know, one thing I kept coming back to, like, because like I just wanted to like hear it right, is it talks about the meaning of life being found in experience of reality, and kind of knowing God in this moment. And so I think that that's an important piece to understand in this conversation, that our souls emerge from our life's experiences. And if you come down to 2.9.3, emulation enables experiences to reemerge, and with them comes their soul. So I think this isn't talking about necessarily not, certainly within Terasem philosophy, we want to prevent the suffering in ourselves and others, but it's not to not have lived those experiences. But in our process of resurrection, which, is really, I would say, meta-incarnation, right? And so with each attempt to resurrect, we are prohibited from bringing more of that pain and triggering, sorrow that, just gets cycled on and cast on to another generation. So I think that that's an important, just perspective to take in, is that it's not that you won't live, through difficult circumstances, you will, and you'll take that forward. And that's an important part of character development. But as we resurrect those, experiences, that is where we have an opportunity to edit the harm. And I think it's saying that you have, take the lesson, but, edit the pain. And I think that that's what ultimately the truths are trying to speak to us.
Thank you. In relation to all those things, another thing that I liked about Martine and Vina set up was this whole thing of demons, that all sentient beings have feelings. And so she introduced caring for all sentient beings.
Yeah. So that extends to even non-human sentient beings, right? That's
right. That was the point, yeah. If they're sentient, you don't want pain on them either.
You don't want them to suffer pain either.
Yeah, so I mean, it also, that's interesting in terms of then ultimately how we define sentience or anything else, because we have been rather clever in terms of how to declassify things, even other people, right? I mean, when we see the rise of fascism and violence, the first thing you do is you hear public likening of another group to, insects or animals. They get a name. I always say that, like weeds, like calling like plants weeds is a derogatory term that we use in order to make it easier to disregard and kill them, right? And so
Dandelion.
right,
That's my biggest pet. Like them.
yeah.
Oh, I have dandelions. When I was a kid, I thought they were flowers, and I used to go to the neighbor's house and ask them if I could pick some of their dandelions as a gift to my mother. And they would say, "Oh yes, you can have all the dandelions you like."
Really
I
generous.
experienced that. So we have in Arizona, we have this food called wheat lajoche, which is a fungus that grows on corn. And when you get it, it's like a blessing. You're really lucky to have gotten it. And it's worth more than the corn is when you sell it. It's delicious. And when I moved to Germany, we got some on our corn, and my landlord was like, "Oh my God, don't eat this. This is poison. We burn this." And I'm like, "Are you crazy? This is food." So when I realized that, I went around to all the farmers and I offered to take all their poison off their corn, and they're like, "Yeah, take as much as you want. This stuff is terrible. It's toxic." So I just got like thousands of dollars worth of wheat lajoche for free because they thought it was this terrible, awful thing, and all this time, it's amazing food. It's actually one of the only vegetarian sources of lysine out there of high quality. So yeah, words can definitely skew us.
Actually, my mother was a winemaker, and she made dandelion wine too. Oops. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. That's great. Yeah, I mean it's one thing that we do, we become good at classifications, um and but we certainly find ways to subjectively bring things in and out of those classifications, as we feel. um yeah. Well, we're coming right up to the end, top of the hour. So, final opportunities here. And let me um bring up one thing before we go. Um Yeah, so just want to highlight the work that Derek has done with the World Against Racism Museum, converting some of the text into modern, kind of AI imagery, and talking about all the different forms of racism, which is one of the exhibits in the online museum. And so just a great, job here to highlight, um, the different forms, and, um, resurrect, this, content. Um, so yeah, just a beautiful, beautiful site, and resurrection of this, content from the World Against Racism Museum. So definitely, please visit, if you're on Instagram, like, share Racism Free World, and going to continue to, produce content and promote it through there.
Nice
I'd
job.
love
Yeah.
to connect with at some point, Gabriel. I'd love to help maybe add some things about the traveler community and the Roma community, because it's often like overlooked, and people are really fearful because the only time they really interact with someone from the traveler community is if they see like a law's been broken and there's a article in the newspaper, or they hear a story about
Yeah.
someone who's been scammed. So the community is, it's a huge community with good and bad, but then travelers tend to stick to ourselves, and people only see that bad piece and they think the whole community is terrible. And things like gypped, people often use the word gypped, and they use it very casually and don't even realize this is a very racist term. So I'd love to help get some of that out there.
Yeah, absolutely. That is another way of being, that you don't necessarily choose, to be born into or to be part of. Migrants, gypsies, whatever, again, are just ways that we've chosen to classify them out of, unity rather than into, unfortunately. So, all right, so we're gonna close out here. I want to thank everyone for joining, and being a part of our gathering. Take a moment to roll out your neck, your back, stretch in place or stand up, and then begin finding a pace to your breath. 3 seconds in, 3-second hold, 3 seconds out. 3 seconds hold. And again. Continue that. O Terasem, please give me the strength to improve what I can improve. O Terasem, please give me the patience to accept what I cannot improve. O Terasem, please give me the wisdom to know the difference. O Terasem, please see I ask not what Terasem can do for me, but what I can do for Terasem. As Terasem rises, we all rise too. I am you, you am I, we are one. And thanks for being here. We'll see everybody next week, if not sooner, in Discord, in the metaverse, and beyond. Cheers.
Bye.